Hi there! One of my problems with making stuff in clay is that I usually end up with this much left in my bag. And if you leave it every time open up a new bag, you will have lots and lots of old clay in everywhere. So I started making the same shape every time with just the rests. I use them for my glazing to test out what kind of glazing it is and how it actually looks when you put it on something. And then I can use it to many different things, and I will show you just at the end of this video. So I will show you what I do and what you can use it for. So let's start. First of all, I need to wedge the clay. I don't want any air in the clay. I smoothen it out and use a little bit of water on my hands. And then I make a ball out of the clay. Then it's time to make a cube. Just by turning the clay and using my hand, I try to make it to a perfect cube. After that, I start pinching out the edges. So every corner, I try to pull them out a little bit to more or less make a star out of the clay. The smaller the clay, the easier this is. If you have a big one, it takes a little bit more time to get all the corners pointy and to get it to look exactly the same. Usually when you use the rest of your clay, it might be a little bit dry compared to a new open bag, so you might need a little bit more water on your fingers. In this stage, I choose if I want them to point much upwards or if I want it to be more flat. I need to put a little bit of clay underneath, otherwise the legs will just bend. And I will leave it there until it's dry. Okay, so now this shape is done. It just needs to dry, and then I can use it for my glazing projects. I can try out new glazes if I want to. The good thing is I can use each of these spikes for a different glaze if I want, or then I can just glaze the whole thing to see how it reacts when it runs and where let's say there's a lot of glazing here and just a little bit on the edges and the tips. Always when you glaze, you need to remember that the feet that are standing at the bottom of the kiln, they should be clean from glazing, otherwise it will just stick to the kiln bottom. Okay, so this one is not done yet, but just to show you the effect, what it looks like to have many of one shape. I mean, just by having them like these, I think these are really beautiful. And you can of course use them for all kinds of stuff. This one, for instance, perfect for chopsticks. You can have well, jewelry, rings, stuff on them. You can, when you are painting, you can just leave your brush on it, or in the kitchen, or maybe have them as if you have something hot to put on, especially the big ones. So yeah, I really like these, and this is just the shape I do, but you can of course choose any kind of shape. Yes, that's about it. Now you could see some of the ideas are kind of far-fetched, but you can actually use them for many different things. And instead of having a lot of clay lying around in many different bags, use it. Even the smallest piece of clay. I hope you enjoyed my video, and remember to subscribe if you want to see more of me and my channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.